We know the dark night of the soul as the most painful part of this spiritual journey, but it's here for a good reason. And today I'm going to talk about why it's an opportunity and how you don't want to mess this up. Now, can you really mess this up? No, I don't think so. But is the pain of the dark night of the soul necessary? Yes. Now that doesn't feel very good sometimes when we're right in the pain, does it? And I've been speaking to a few clients on the group calls and the one-to-ones. By the way, if you want to sign up for any of those, the links are down below. There's also a free breathing practice and a free community for Awakening Souls on Facebook. The links are down below in the comments section. You can click them and find out more about those things. But I've been speaking to a few clients in those respective things, root calls and one-to-one coaching, about it not being, I make it sound so easy, it's not easy in the moment is what the clients are saying. And I'm with you, because it isn't. When the pain's there and it's right in front of you, what do we tend to do? We tend to panic and push that pain away. We resist the pain. Question, why is the pain there in the first place? Well, if we're honest with ourselves, the pain is there because of this fundamental belief of I'm not good enough. And this I'm not good enough belief has been imprinted into us by our parents, our friends, our peers, our colleagues. And that's the sad reality of this existence, is that we're imprinted with this code of unworthiness, with this DNA of unworthiness from the get-go. It seems to be that we've perhaps agreed to come in and play out this role of I'm not good enough in our lives, or at least overcome that limitation. And though we will never really fully overcome it, it will always be a part of us. We certainly do wake up out of it, in a sense. Wake up out of the reoccurringness of it. It will still come back, and thank God it comes back, because when it comes back there's a beautiful gift in it. And the gift is to re-inspect, to re-evaluate what you're taking to be true in this moment and in this life. The I'm not good enough belief came from the outside, but we played our part. We believed it. Now it's very difficult, isn't it, when our parents and friends are saying these things that represent the idea of me not being good enough, or me being unworthy of love, or me being getting rejected, for example. Then it's very difficult for us to not believe that belief of I'm not good enough. But believe it we did in time. So the dark night of the soul is here to uproot that belief. Let's be honest, you've been calling for a change in your life. You know that this is no way to live, and that suffering, you can't have been put here just to suffer. That's not God's will. And, let's say free will, it's not my free will to choose suffering. However, in a sense, we are choosing that suffering. So let's have a look at it a little bit deeper. The pain comes in the dark night of the soul. The emotional pain. Sometimes it's a heavy chest. My experience was that tight knot in the belly that almost makes you want to throw up, or could pull you to your knees in a moment. And then that pain, what I used to do, and still do sometimes, but now, if I'm really honest with myself, I don't do this as often. Sometimes I will, sometimes I'll react, but the more sadhana I've done, sadhana just means the spiritual practice that you do, yoga, meditation, the more clear this awareness in me has become that these things are false. So what did I do before? And what do we do as humans? We tend to resist that pain when it comes, tend to escape, and we do silly things like alcohol, binge eating, anything pleasure-based to try and satisfy or negate that pain that we're feeling inside. And that's understandable. That's the human in us, right? We have these ideas that life's going to be wonderful and cherry blossomed, and we're taught as children, especially if you're a millennial, that you can have everything that you want. And you can. But not with the conditioning that we've got. We have to wake up out of that conditioning, and to wake up out of that conditioning, pain is needed. Therefore, the pain comes in the chest or the belly so that we get to investigate the pain. We get to investigate the reality of the beliefs surrounding that pain to see if we prefer them or not. And if we don't prefer them, then we can get rid of them. This is the healing you've been asking for. But on one level, it doesn't look like it. It looks like sometimes it can feel like I've done it wrong. That's it. God hates me. Or the universe doesn't love me anymore, or you know, I've screwed it up. This is my karma for hurting people in the past. And this isn't true. God, life, universe loves you. It loves you so much that it gave you this body and this life experience. And though it doesn't seem like it yet, it's answering your calls and is giving you the dark night of the soul. So how do we investigate that pain? Well, when the pain comes, when we resist it, what we're really doing is we're pushing away our experience and we're saying, this pain isn't good enough for me. But subtly what the ego's done here is it's judged my experience of now as not enough for me, meaning the pain, and in that sense, by judging my experience, I've in essence judged myself as not enough, therefore reinforcing the belief of I'm not good enough, therefore proliferating and continuing the dark night of the soul because the pain is linked to that belief. So, paradoxically, the only way out of this belief is into it. In the resistance of that feeling or that belief, we continue that belief. So we must invite it. And how do we do that? Well, we have to be courageous and we have to feel it without the stories. For example, let's say you're talking to a girl that you like, and because I know this from my past, let's say you're talking to a girl that you like, and on the surface it seems like you're being rejected, maybe. Probably it isn't what's happening at all. That's my experience of it too. That probably is not what's happening at all, because the only person to ever reject you is you. It's never anybody else. But let's not go into that. Let's say it seems to you like you're being rejected. You like this girl, she's rejecting you in some way. She's probably not. She's probably just doing a control thing or something. But let's say she does that. Then the pain comes. And then the story afterwards is, see, knew you couldn't get that girl. Or see, life doesn't work out the way that you want it. Or see, told you weren't good enough. That's the story that the mind, that the negative ego creates about that pain, isn't it? And it's in that story that we've solidified that belief inside of ourselves. It's in that story that, in a sense, we're continuing the process of the dark night of the soul for longer. Now that can seem quite mean, can't it, from life? Well, if I believe things to be true about myself that aren't true, I feel pain. It's kind, isn't it? It's life saying, this is not natural to you. These stories, these beliefs believed in, because you do believe them. You believe them. I know this from my experience, is the pain comes because you believe the stories. Oh, I told you you weren't good enough, blah, blah, blah. And that's trying to escape the pain anyway by going to the mind. Does it work? No, it just continues the pain on this loop, and then we have to go out and get drunk. But it doesn't solve it. It does for the moment. But the next day, you feel worse, and the pain comes up, and the stories come up, and it continues. The only way out of the pain is into the pain. Now that just sounds like a wonderful, oh yes, very esoteric, lovely, thank you Jamie. But it's true, we have to feel it. So, what if we're not strong enough right now to feel that strong emotion in the belly without going to the mind? Can you think of a place in the body where there is no emotion? Where that emotion doesn't exist? I can. Hands. When that pain comes in the belly, if you want, it's your choice. It's up to you, but I know that this works for me. Or the feet, or the shins of the legs. Whenever that pain in the belly comes, bring all of your attention and your focus to the feeling of the energy, the energetic current, that light vibratory hum in your hands. And then when the pain goes, because it will, then relax that intention from the hands into the light energetic vibration of the body, or what we call in yoga dynamic stillness, what we call in perhaps enlightenment circles present being, now, this light vibratory hum of the body that we are, the energy underneath the body. Bring your attention to that when the pain comes, and almost, if you're strong enough, hug the pain with your energy. Isn't it true that this pain is just a sensation? Let's take the outside thing out of it. Let's say it was a girl that did something, or a boy, whichever way you're inclined, and that seemingly created the pain. Let's take them out of the equation. Let's just say it's just you, and the pain's there. Well, then the pain is just a sensation, right? If there's no story around it, ooh, this is really painful, or whatever, then it's just a sensation. It's just another vibration. Well, who's to say that vibration isn't a sacred vibration and isn't a gift from God or the universe, or whatever you want to call it, life? Isn't it true that we're here to experience all of life exactly the way it is? Isn't this life a blessing? Isn't the only reason that you can feel this pain because you've been given the gift of life in the first place? Why do we want everything to be nice and wonderful? That would be sickening. The pain brings richer joys. Death is necessary to make the rest of life so rich and so sacred. The pain is needed, and it's just a sensation. And why not see it as another abundant opportunity to change our response, or change our attitude, or change the story around the pain? Why not go storyless and just feel the pain? Or, if we're not strong enough to just feel the pain, feel the vibration in the hands until the pain subsides, and then remove our focus from our hands back into the awareness that we are, the beingness that we are, the dynamic stillness that we are. I hope this helps, because in one thing that I've learned about this finite life is that, and especially the dark night of the soul, is that now my dark night of the soul, at least the real dark pain, is over. I still feel pain, but like the reoccurring darkness is done. I look back sometimes and I think, I'll never get that time back. I could have enjoyed that more. I could have enjoyed that more. We can enjoy the pain. It's the stories about the pain that creates suffering, and is totally unnecessary. I hope this helps. Namaste.